समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Now this is verse 14 we start with, and we had ended with verse 13, which says, neither does he act nor does he cause others to act. So it is only by his mere presence that things happen. Okay, so far understood. Now then when we come to verse 14, so when it is that, then this whole concept of if he doesn't do anything, so this Puranic concept, you remember that he is the karma phaladata, sitting in heaven, who takes a hisab of everything, और सारी चीजें वो देखते हैं और करते हैं और जिसको जो फल देना है वो देते हैं. What about all that? So here let us come to the next verse. Who gives the fruit of action? न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलसंयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते. See, this verse clearly says that he doesn't not do these three. देखो, एक तो वो क्या चीज, this whole thing of I do is not there. Na karmani, actions he doesn't do. The feeling of I do he doesn't have. And what there is the third one? Na karma phala sanyogam. He doesn't also give the karma phala. Okay. So then who does? The question certainly arises that if this is the description of the God principle, then who gives the karma phala? Okay. Now then, see, this concept has evolved into a God principle, not God as a person like we imagine कि जैसे हम हैं वैसे भगवान हैं, is not like that. He is not a human being type of a person who has a buddhi and an intellect, and according to that he behaves, and he does things accordingly and he empowers things accordingly. No. Now then the concept of the power which is formless, which is all pervading, comes in, and yet that it is just a power. So kartritva nahi hai. This word kartritvam, the concept of I do cannot be given to a power. I had given you the example of petrol. You remember? Petrol in a car. That without petrol, the car cannot move, right? Yes. But can the petrol say, I move the car? Or I took you to Connaught Place? Or I took you. True, it empowers the car to move. But the one who drives you to the destination is the driver himself. So the petrol has got no kartritva bhav. Now, when it has no I do feeling, you cannot blame the petrol for the accident, and you cannot compliment the petrol for reaching you to the safely to that place. So rightfully it is a power that moves. Because of petrol it moves, but because of this God principle, he says, na kartritvam na karmani. So you cannot also say that he acts, because if he acts, then he should get the result of actions. He does not have the feeling of I do. So when there is no feeling of I do, how can you get a result of action? Also, he says, na karma phala sanyogam. So he says that he is not also connected with the karma phala. He is not the one who gives the karma phala. So Gurudev used to say that you are not punished for your action, you are punished by your action. Now, when you say that you are punished by your sin, okay, not for your sin, for your sin means there is somebody judging and he is giving you the punishment. So, this is not a punishment. You are punished by your sin means आपने elastic खींची, okay, you pull the elastic till here. Now the natural law is that when you leave it from here, the force with which it will come back will hit your hand. It is your action of having pulled it till there. If you have pulled it only to here, the force will be less automatically, isn't it? So natural force, natural laws come into force. As it says, you see, swabhavastu pravartate. So all action happens compelled by strict laws of nature. All actions will happen by strict laws of nature. That means the result also you will get according to the strict laws of nature. And nature cannot make a mistake. Nature cannot be unfair. If a fool decides to jump from the fifth floor of a building, and he dies, which he will, can you blame the gravity? The Lord created the gravity, so the Lord is responsible. No, 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 you cannot. The Lord has created a law. That's all. You go against the law will punish you. The Lord will not do anything, right? So if you had just come down the elevator and walked out of the door, the law of gravity, he has not gone against, and the law of gravity can do nothing to him. But if he jumps from the floor, then swabhavastu pravartate. It will happen, it has to happen, it will happen. Now, so what is the relationship then between the self and the not self? These two verses 14 and 15 one uses the word Prabhu, and the 15th verse uses the word Vibhu, as we will see. Now Vibhu means all pervading also, but here both the words are used for the Lord. So there is a Lord, there is that subtle power called, whom you can call Vibhu, you can call Prabhu, you can call Ram, Krishna, Muhammad, anything, but that power is there, that God principle is there. Now then, how does the self relate to the non-self? How does the power empower the not self? How does that happen? There is a contact, there is a relationship, but not a contact, there is a relationship. And Gurudev used to call it relationless relationship, contactless contact. You can only contact another. Okay, I can contact this chair. I am not the chair, so I can contact the chair alone. But supposing I think that my arm is someone else and I am someone else and I contact my arm, it is my illusion. Isn't it the illusion of the body that this arm is something else? The whole body is one. Similarly, so then, but I know that arm is me. When I know the arm is me, how can there be a contact? Yet there is a contact. So it is called contactless contact. Like, I give you an example. See, when a dreamer wakes up, he becomes the waker. Okay. What is the relationship between the dreamer and the waker? There was no dreamer. The relationship is always between two people. or the relationship is always between two things. But when a dreamer wakes up, what is the relationship between the two? It is a relationless relationship. The waker remembers that he was a dreamer, but he was not the dreamer. He was not the dreamer. Yes, the individual in the dream who was running, dancing, singing, eating thing was not this man who was sleeping on the bed, isn't it? Yet there is a relationship. So it is a relationless relationship because there is no objectivity involved in it. It is a subjective realization that I am the same thing. I am the same person. I am the same thing. It is an illusion. The relationship with the illusion is only that is the supposing, see, Gurudev gives the example of the nose. Okay? He gives the example that if I see my reflection in water, if I see my reflection in water, the water is moving. Okay? Now, when the water is moving, my nose is moving from left to right in there. But is my nose moving? My nose is not moving. That is the reflection of my nose, and that is an illusion which is moving. The illusion is unreal, the nose is real. So, this is the relationship. It is the relationship between the real and the unreal. So, frankly, there is no relationship because the unreal has no existence. The unreal has got no existence at all, right? It is swabhavas, what the he says, swabhavastu. Now the fan says I move, the fridge says I cool, and man says I act. Just as foolish as the fan and the fridge, because they have neither. Fridge does not have cooling, fan does not have movement. It is the grace of the electricity. So it is foolish of them to think that they move or they cool. Similarly, man, this body of flesh, bones, and skin can neither move, nor talk, nor think. We all know it. We all know it. It is His grace. It is the grace of that God principle which is making this thing move. But if I think that I do, that kartritva does not belong to the God principle, that kartritva is my foolishness. Kartritva bhav is my foolishness, right? So the action, the kartritva bhav, as well as the karma phala belongs to me alone. And I gave you the example that if you jump from the action that you do, that you jump from the fifth floor, you yourself will get the karma phal. You have demanded that karma phal. You have worked for that karma phal. You have done the action to get that karma phal, and so you get it. Some karma phal come instantly, like this one, and some karma phal come after many years. Some karma phal come in the lives to come. It depends because each fruit takes time to ripen. Some ripen very early, and some take years to ripen. Till the tree has to grow up, it has to produce flower, fruit, and then it ripens. So also with karma, there are some karmas giving instant results, some karmas giving a delayed result, some karmas giving a delayed result. So it is like that. So Come to verse number 15. Now, verse number 15 says, verse 15, Nadate kasyachit papam na chaiva sukritam vibhuhu ajnanena vratam yanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. I'll read the translation. It says, the Lord takes neither the demerit nor even the merit of any. Knowledge is enveloped by ignorance, thereby beings are deluded. Yes. Now, knowledge is covered by ignorance. As he says, knowledge is covered by, enveloped by ignorance. And therefore, you cannot see the knowledge. Just like uh, there is a bright light, okay, but it is covered by a tarpaulin. Now, when a dark, thick tarpaulin covers the light is there, but you cannot see the light, right? Unless you uncover that tarpaulin, you will not see the light. So, the fault does not lie with the light. The fault lies with your having covered the light with the tarpaulin. Okay. Another example I will give you is of the sun. The sun is massive. It is huge compared to our earth, and compared to you, oh, very, very big. Yet, when you put your little finger on your eye like that, close one eye, put this finger on that eye, the sun is covered or not? So, the totally unobtrusive, unimportant little finger has covered the huge sun. Similarly, ignorance is empowered to cover knowledge. So it don't wonder at it, how can ignorance cover knowledge? How can ignorance cover knowledge? Now then also he talks about the Lord neither the Lord takes neither demerits nor merits of any. That means he is not the karma phal data. He does not keep a stock of merits and demerits. He does not keep a log book. हाँ, जिसको कहते हैं कि बही खाता टाइप ऑफ अ थिंग, कि इसने ये पाप किया, उसमें मैंने लिख दिया, अब इसको फल दूंगा, है ना? Not like that he keeps all that. You know, the Puranic concepts were like that, and that's why you have a Chitragupta. कि वो चित्रगुप्त हिसाब रखते हैं आपके कर्मों का. Now Chitragupta is a Gupta means hidden, and Chitra is a one who makes the painting. So Chitragupta is like a secret photographer. That's why the name Chitragupta. He is like a secret photographer who is keeping a stock of every action of yours. Now, this was a Puranic concept, he will keep a stock and he will give you the result. This is nothing else but the personification of that great grand law of nature, which will punish you. Which will punish you by your own action. You have punished yourself by your own action because you went against that law. The result will come. It has to come. Right? So here the Lord does not keep an account of your merits and demerits. It is when you say Chitragupta and that Puranic story and all that, or Punya Pap ka hisab and all that, that is all. I have told you that Gurudev used to say you are punished by your sins, not for your sins. There is a difference. For your sins means somebody else does it, and by your sins means you did a wrong thing and you get the result. ठीक है? Now see, can a rope keep account of how many people the snake has stung? There is no snake. It is only the rope. So how can the Lord keep account of what you do and what you not do? You think he has anything else to do than to just do this? कि सबका वो हिसाब रखें. He has only created laws, and if the your merits and demerits are your own by what you do and what you don't do. So वही बात है कि the rope, the snake doesn't exist at all. So the rope cannot keep account, huh? Now, from the infinite standpoint, from the standpoint of the infinite, the finite doesn't even exist. There is no finite. From the standpoint of the ocean, the wave doesn't have a different identity. The foam doesn't have a different identity. You know, it is all one. The small wave, the big wave, the rafters, the foam on the ocean. It is all the ocean only from the standpoint of the ocean. You may see it as differently. You may give them different names, different shapes. The foam looks different from the wave. The wave looks different from the water. The raft or the huge wave looks different from the small wave. So you give it a different name, isn't it? But it is all saline water of the ocean. Same is over here, that the finite does not exist from the standpoint of the infinite. It has got no meaning. Just like the dreamer does not exist from the standpoint of the waker. सोचो जरा, वो था ही नहीं. Yet you say I saw it. Just like you saw the no reflection of the nose in the water moving. तो आप कहते हैं नहीं पर मैंने देखा that the nose was moving. Okay, dekha, yes, but that was an illusion. Everything that you see is not true. Everything that you see does not come under the definition of truth. We have done it many, many times, isn't it? This whole thing. You don't see gravity, but it is true. You see the sunrise, not true. These examples we have done many, many times. You see the blueness of the sky, but it is not blue. So what is true is different. What you see with your eyes and think, you know, that I've never found something so stupid as seeing is believing. Seeing is not believing, it may be something totally different. Many misunderstandings happen because of this only. That I saw it, I've seen it with my own eyes. Oh, you may have seen it, but you do not know the whole picture. Your vision was very narrow. So then, now ignorance and knowledge, it is just like the snake and the rope. The snake and the rope, the snake does not exist, the rope exists. Yet you see the snake. And when you see the snake, you feel that you can see the tongue, you feel that you can see the eyes, you feel that you can see the scales on the body, all that. But also understand that the moment you see the rope, the very moment you see the rope, that very second it exists, the snake exists not. You cannot say कि no, no, अभी मुझे उसकी आंख तो दिख ही रही है. You can't say that. The illusion goes. In a second, the illusion goes. Okay? The same example as the ghost and the post. Okay? The same example we had done before also. Okay. Now then, okay, we've done this. So then what is the method? What is the method of trying to see the last paragraph over here in Gurudev's commentary? He says the unveiling of the truth is a process of the removal of ignorance and not a creation of knowledge. See, knowledge is nothing new that you create. You just remove the ignorance. Again, to give you the example of the snake and the rope. The moment you put a torchlight on the rope, You have not removed the snake. The snake is not there. You do not make an effort कि अब snake को हम हटाते हैं and rope को रखते हैं. No, no, they are not two things, isn't it? So you do not, it is not that kind of a physical effort that you have to make to remove ignorance. When knowledge comes, ignorance automatically goes. Ignorance automatically goes, right? So now how does it happen? And the method given, Gurudev used to give the example, the method is negation. even the even the Vedas and Shastras use this method, Upanishads use this method of uh, nasti nasti nasti. Nasti means it is not there, it is not there, it is not there. So whatever is not there, you remove. Now what is the method? Excavation. What do you do in excavation? When you are trying to excavate a historical site, what do? All the unnecessary mud that is covering that building, or मान लीजिए कि there is a very precious statue buried over there. You keep on removing the mud from there, and the statue emerges, isn't it? So all you have to do to gain this knowledge is remove the ignorance. Slowly, slowly, slowly. It is not this. This is not the truth. This is not the truth. This is not the truth. And when you go on eliminating the not self from the self, you come to the self also. Even how does a sculptor make a stone statue? Right? He just takes a rock, and in that rock, he visualizes a Vishnu statue. He visualizes. The statue is in his vision. So, what does he do? With a chisel and a hammer, he goes on removing the extra rock. He goes on hammering and hammering and hammering and hammering, and slowly, slowly, the murti which was in his vision emerges, isn't it? Similarly, you have to go on removing the not self in your mind. This is not the truth. This is not the truth. This is not the truth. And believe me, 99.9% things that you see, or I would say 100% of the things that you see, are not true. Vedanta does not recognize creation. It says it is your illusion, just like a dream. Hmm? And in India, you have heard this from your childhood, haven't you? It is there with everybody. Even a man on the road who's selling fruits and vegetables will tell you, जी ये मेरे कर्मों का फल है. He will also tell you कि जी सब सपना है, कुछ ही नहीं रखा दुनिया में. Now all these Indians belt it out like anything, and whether he's educated or uneducated is not the point. They know it. But listen, intellectually knowing something is one thing, and actually living the knowledge, knowing the knowledge, assimilating the knowledge, and every act of yours becomes that knowledge, that is another thing, totally different thing. So understand that. Now let's come to the 16th verse. ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञानम् येषां नाशितमात्मनः तेषाम् आदित्यवज्ञानं प्रकाशयति तत्परम्. The translation says, but to those whose ignorance is destroyed by knowledge of the self, like the sun, to them knowledge reveals the supreme Brahman. Okay, now see, the knowledge is, as I said to you over here, he says it is instantaneous. The ramp up to the knowledge is a long time because it is an evolutionary process. For eons, you have been understanding your body to be you, even now. You understand your body to be you. But to get rid of that concept that my body is something other than me, you know it intellectually. Your teacher has told you intellectually. I've heard it many, many times intellectually. Oh, yes. But then, how does one see that? You see it in an instant, in a flash. The moment the illusion is removed, you have arrived at it. And you say, okay, this is it. All the rest that is related to the body is illusion, because the body itself is an illusion. So when the body is an illusion, in a second it is gone. And when it is gone in a second, the people, the most loved people of that human being, they themselves dispose the body, isn't it? If it was the same human being that they loved, why should they dispose the body? They will not. Think about it. It is at that time that the fact hits you very hard that that human being whom you called father, that human being whom you called mother, or you called brother, sister, whosoever, husband, is not this, isn't it? So why don't you understand it beforehand? Why can't we live it beforehand? That is the evolutionary process of going on telling yourself and going on thinking about it that this is it, this is it. But it says that you cannot come to that conclusion unless you are rid of your ego, unless you are rid of the idea of the body. Now, a very important question any intelligent student's mind will pick up is that okay, if all this you get rid of, then with what instrument do you get the knowledge? Because you have negated the mind, you have negated the intellect, you have negated reasoning, you have negated everything. And you say that this is beyond these. These are finite instruments, isn't it? You also say that you cannot gain the infinite with finite instruments. और अभी तो finite instruments है ही नहीं. So then how do you gain it? Right, sir? Okay. Now then, see, it is like this. When the sun rises, is there any fool who says, just light a match, I want to see whether the sun has risen or not? You don't say that, right? Does the dreamer ask the waker that am I the dreamer or the waker? Once the waker has woken up, does he question that is he the waker or was he the dreamer? वो पूछता है क्या? No, no, no. He knows for sure that he is the waker. Nobody needs to tell you that you are you. You see, there is no objectivity involved in this knowledge. All your instruments, buddhi, ahankar, man, buddhi, ahankar, all your instruments of logic and thinking work in the field of objectivity. They work in the field of objective knowledge. But this is subjective. They do not work where you tell yourself, I am me. Nobody needs to tell you that you are you. You know it for sure, you are you. So the knowledge that I am the waker, when you wake up from a dream, is the knowledge that is a firm knowledge. पर हम लोग क्या हैं? We know it intellectually. See, we know it all intellectually, and we know it all intellectually, but still we do not know it firmly. ठीक है ना? And we think that unless there is a PFT to understand that objective knowledge, there is no knowledge. ऐसा नहीं होता है. ठीक है? Now come to verse 17. Okay, no, not verse 17. You just come to verse 17 now. This we have done. And the tadbudhyastadatmanah tannishthastatparayanaः gacchantya punaravrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. Now it says intellect absorbed in that, their self being that, established in that, with that for their supreme goal, they go whence there is no return. Now, and their sins dispelled by knowledge. So there are two things this verse is saying. That one, that is an he is using this word that for an indefinite thing, the indefinitive power, because you cannot describe that power. That is why he uses the word that. We all understand what he is talking about. So, there are two main things that this verse is saying. One is that once you attain that supreme goal, they go whence there is no return. अच्छा, अभी आप कहेंगे what is that place from where? So it only means that the person dies and he doesn't come back, right? No, 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 that is not what it means. It is like this. When a waker wakes up, can he go back to the dream? Can he re-enter his dream? He can never re-enter his dream. He has realized his true self, and no matter how much he dreamt, no matter what he remembers also about the dream, he cannot go back to the dream. So that kartritva, bhogatva, and abhimani is dead and gone. He has disappeared. There is no kartritva, there is no bhogatva, and there is no abhimani. Abhimani is ego. Bhogatva, I am the consumer. Kartritva, I am the doer. Now, all these things are not there because he understands he was not that finite thing. He was not. And so he cannot return back to that at all. And his vision changes to no matter what he sees around him, it is all the Lord. His vision has changed completely. And so everything he sees as the Lord. वो है ना, आंखों के आगे हो कुछ भी, आंखों में है मधुशाला. So when you say that, तो that person sees only what is in his mind. Perception is the only reality. So his perception is that the whole thing is nothing else but that supreme power. So he sees every human being, everything, every animal, insect, every happening, everything as a play of that great grand power. Okay, so that is what he says. Now, he can never re-enter the world of the dreamer, which I have said beforehand. Now, any waker, once he wakes up, in the dream his wife died in his lap. Can the waker cry for that dream wife? Or that he was running and there was a tiger chasing him in the dream. Once he wakes up, can he still continue to run? That a tiger is chasing me? No. The nature of illusion is recognized by the man who wakes up to reality. Once he has woken up to his reality, the traumas that he thought he was going through no more can harass him. No more can those traumas disturb him. Now, See, he cannot even take birth again because the body is formed by vasanas. The ego is formed by vasanas. And when there is no ego left and no vasanas left, he does not take another birth. It is not possible. No cause in the world can, no effect in the world can take place without a cause. It's a law, it's a scientific law. No effect can take place without a cause. Therefore, when there is no cause for birth anymore, when there is no cause for birth anymore, no body shape can happen. So he cannot return to this world. The evolutionary search finishes. I call it evolutionary because it takes lives and lives for a person to evolve. It takes even people who are listening to this Vedant, you all are almost at the very door of that goal of evolution. How many people are? Tell me. They say, oh, we have better things to do than listen to Vedant. We have better things to do than to find out about our true self. What are you talking? Come on, let's go for a film. They have no time to even deeply think about their own self. It is an animal existent level. They cannot rise. So even a very rare individual, very rare individual gets the benefit of this knowledge. And even when he gets the benefit of that knowledge, because he has been searching throughout his life. And when he gets the benefit of this knowledge, even then he is not Brahmasthita. He is not established in this knowledge. He has not assimilated it. He has not digested it. He doesn't have the capacity to sustain it. And therefore, all the searching through his life continues and continues. You know? So, this is what it says. See, this beautifully says it. ये और बात है कि तू दिल की धड़कनों में बसा. Hear it carefully. ये और बात है कि तू दिल की धड़कनों में बसा. That means you are the one who makes my life possible. You are the one who is pulsating my heartbeat, right? So ये और बात है कि तू दिल की धड़कनों में बसा. तलाश फिर भी तुझे उम्र भर किया जाना. That I have gone on, though you are right here inside me. I know that my body is moving because of you. So you are so close to me. My mind is thinking because of you. My mind has the capacity to logic out things because of you. My eyes can see because of you. You are that close to me. And yet I go on hunting and I go on looking. I go on searching for you. Then he says, तलाश फिर भी तुझे उम्र भर किया जाना. Till it totally strikes you, yeah, this is it. Once the illusion is gone, the reality will never go. Only intellectually. That every day, remind yourself all the time, think about the reality, all the time be established in that reality, and very soon, Geeta only says, very soon you will get it. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.